Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Right, it's Friday and Friday's the day of the week we turn to the BonBon buddies over on Patreon and say, hey guys, vote us in a map, and they've gone with this one. It's a creator we have done a little while in the past, a few times now, and they're renowned for their pretty maps. In fact, this is a creator request, so looking forward to this one. Now, I'm going to get an apology out up front specifically to the creator. I forgot to put on Park Life. I'm sorry. And I don't have time to re-record the entire show. So we're going to add on a little score at the end. We're going to be missing maybe some Park Life fences or something like that. But to be fair, we don't really zoom in too much on the detailing on the map anyway today. So, sorry. Anyway, before we go any further, grab your BonBonBingo card over on Patreon. Link is in the description. And get ready for the daily reminder, because there's going to be a daily reminder. If only there was a reminder for me to use the Park Life DLC on a map that requires a Park Life DLC. Erg. Springtime in the Valleys, today's map by quirkygeekgirl, almost complete minus some minor detailing from Park Life. Let's have a little look at that start square, shall we? Looks good. Looks very, very good. It's always going to be a pretty map coming from Quirky. Let's have a little look at the terrain heights. Terrain heights, again, we've got a little bit actually under sea level, although it's not going to matter at all on this map. And then you've got resources. Resources are good and strong. Tree painting, but definitely usable on a map like this one. If you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, we have some very pretty fishing maps as well. And then off to the workshop. We could do with a bigger thumbnail, Quirky. Could do with a bigger thumbnail. There's your hint. Park Life required. And there's also a list of things on the right. Ignore that, because there's a one-click collection that's going to really suit those who are running a potato today. We'll be using the Cedar Valley 4K theme and the Relight to Lush LUT. There are a few other mods, etc. Not necessarily required, but recommended. Recommended, I would say. Intersection marking tool is there as well, or the intersection unmarking tool, as I would say today in today's show, as you will see. And they've got a whole bunch of trees. We have got 69 FNAF subscriptions, and yeah, they are quite special. The monolith apparently is in this map. I didn't see it, but to be honest with you, there's a lot to see and a lot. It's a big map. It's a big map, as they all are. Ability to read, there's a good one. Classic, absolute classic. Shadow strength adjuster. So yes, we've got a whole bunch of things. Unlimited tree mods also required. There are over 1 million trees on today's map. So if you are running a potato, if you can smell burning, that's your problem. Probably one to admire from afar if you're not running something capable of running this. Anyway, so yes, it's a pretty map that could be maybe a little bit prettier in places, and I'm going to add on a little bit of score for aesthetics at the end for the missing Park Life, because we can assume there's at least something that's going to add to this map. So there is that. Right, okay, down to ground level and highways, and the map's going to look good because it's Cedar Valley 4K, it's Relight to Lush, and there's lots and lots and lots of custom assets on it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, before we go any further, important channel news. Those of you who are regulars and plan your day around me, there's going to be a WhatsMap holiday from Monday for 1 week. I am working on some other stuff on the channel at the moment behind the scenes, and also doing this every day. It does get to you eventually. It certainly does. So it's going to be nice for me to have a little break from the routine. It'll give me a bit of time to do some stuff behind the scenes. First intersection there, nice little trumpet one. Very prettily detailed with trees and stuff. Also the intersection non-marking tool in operation there and there, with the actual dotted lines removed, which is something we've not seen, or I've not seen anyway. Where are we? Yes, we've got plenty of stuff to check out on this map. Plenty of nice detailing, like this little tufty area going on here. That rock I don't mind. It looks like it could have just been lifted over or whatever. And also, this just looks like it's been kicked. A bit of foliage being kicked onto the road. Again, I don't mind that. Neither one of those is actually going to end up with any points being docked from the map, because they're both plausible and believable. And plausible and believable, I think, are important things. Our first big intersection going on there. Very pretty again. There's going to be a lot of pretty going on with today's map. And then we'll head on up. Now, for those of you who are going to be missing my dulcet tones, don't worry, there will be content every single day. It might be over on BonBonB 2, the second channel. I haven't really planned exactly what's going out on what day yet. But there will be content. Probably won't be Cities Skylines, because there's going to be all sorts of stuff for me to do other than Cities Skylines. But yes, we're going to get it all up and running. There's your intersection marking tool again, but the chevrons all pointing in the right direction today. That's much, much better. You probably will want Traffic Manager President Edition to sort out the traffic at those junctions. But yes, the intersection marking tool used to good effect. Would have been nice maybe for mass transits to bring in 2 lanes, so that we could have done a bit. Always got a little bit of bowing in the roads there as well, where it's all merging back in. Nothing that a little straightening of the segments in Move It wouldn't fix. Anyway, yes, we've got so it's a pretty flat map. There are hills, but they're more plateaus than hills, and definitely easy to get up and build up and into. Heading down towards the next intersection. I think the next intersection is a start square. I'm pretty sure. I'm losing track of where we are. I'm trying to think of 8 things at once. I'm also reeling from forgetting the DLC. I feel awful. I normally will record that entire show, but it's just not happening at the moment, I'm afraid. I'm so sorry. Again, we've got some very pretty intersection work going on here. Lots of tweakly little intersection and single lanes and stuff. And then this long road here goes down into Start Square with all the odd shaped fields, which are going to work out for a really good way of breaking the grid. Breaking the grid, of course. Not doing a grid city. You can, of course, build a grid city. It's a flat map. It's just these are just giving you guidelines to steer away from that. Do something just a little different from what you would normally do if you are a grid city builder. Heading down across the river here, across the rail as well. And again, just more pretty areas going on all the time. We've got another up and over intersection with some nice rock detailing going on here as well. So that's all credible. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen mass transit or even just a custom 2-lane road off of the workshop. Didn't have to be network extensions too. I know we're all trying to avoid that one at the moment. But yes, I think 69 items. If we got rid of maybe one style of tree or something, or maybe one of the assets that's not strictly needed, then you could have included that. Still got to your 69. You want to have a 69, don't you, Quirky? Yes, 69. Anyway, as in Route 69, I mean, of course, the famous roads that's like 3 roads up from Route 66. Down to the rail. Now, today's map is, strictly speaking, a fantasy map. I should have mentioned this earlier, because the water system is just in no way realistic. It works. For a playable map, it absolutely works. If you're not that worried about it following a believable route, we've got waterfalls as well, then that works as well. Considering that it definitely falls into the fantasy map category, what we've got here is a rail line that undulates a little bit here and there, and definitely some more there than it does here. We've just gone up and down a small hill here, and there are large stretches that are totally believably flat because of the sort of map that we're on. And then, like, we're going down the hill at the moment. I don't know quite how steep that one is, but we're not going to check. I will switch on the lines of terrain a little way on the journey so you can see. And it does get rather steep right at the edge of the map because we end up going up into the hills. Not stupidly steep, but borderline. As in Madonna. As in the first song I ever heard from Madonna, actually, that one. That intro to that song. Sorry, I'm digressing. That intro to that song just captured me as a teenie, and I was just like, I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked for a few years. Anything Madonna did was like, I've got a huge collection of her stuff from that era, right the way up till one particular song where I just went, no, I cannot buy this woman's music anymore. Who's that girl? Oh, what on earth? I know it's a soundtrack song, but what on earth was that pile of dung? I just couldn't buy anymore. And that was it. Anyway, rail, we're going to go past everybody's favourite factory. For those of you playing BonBonBingo, you might have got yourself a little tick off box there as well. And then heading out and around and just a little bit rising and falling. And we're going to go into those hills over there, and it's going to get steep right at the end. So anyway, we're going to come back and check the water flow after the intermission, but not immediately. Not immediately. We're going to do the shipping first because there might be shipping. We're going to come to the water flow a little bit later on because it's going to fall in with something, and you'll see. I'm not going to spoil the show too much. There's only one more to do before the holiday anyway, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's climb this hill because rail lines do love climbing hills, and come back after this short message.
Do all your cities end up looking like ugly, lumpy grids? Would you like to evolve a more organic, natural-style city? Then check out BonBonB's Breaking the Grid playlist. Click the I button now.
And so back to the shipping routes at Springtime in the Valley by quirkygeekgirl. Right, we have one in the lake over here, and it heads off and stops about here, where we can transfer across to the aeroplanes, where we have a little air triangle going on there. It's quite nice. And then we have another shipping route over this side with the lake that goes off. I'm assuming it's a lake. The lake that goes off the edge of the map over there, which would be okay as well. And so the map as a whole, it's quite pretty. What I would have liked is a little bit more intricacy in the middle of the map. We've got some quite nice intricate areas like these waterfall areas over here. I would like to have seen some more interest like this in the middle of the map. I'm not saying I want waterfalls in the middle of the map, but the middle of the map, it's less interesting. It's less fun to look at. We've got some very good forests. I'm just talking about fun here. I'm not talking about standards. I'm just talking about fun and interest. And the tree painting up in the hills is great. Remember, million trees. She's been each one of these has been put down manually. Even these perfectly straight lines here. First of all, hedgerows. Hedgerows are good. Low and pretty and nice. And these lines, perfectly straight, each individually placed by hand by Quirky. And this is, I'm just kidding, prop line tool, yes, obviously. And this is to a much higher standard than we've seen from many people who've done the same task. So you can take some credit for that one from me. I like that, that's good work. Right, let's do some hopping about. First of all, the wobbly bridge that isn't wobbly. You'll see what I mean. First of all, the rails running at an angle underneath, so I get the pillars being off centre. I get that. That is fine. But it just looks wobbly, looks wonky. The slopes aren't aligned, and they're not aligned in a way that doesn't look right. Still, it works and it's fine. This little area here, I would have liked this to have been a more precise park area rather than sort of like a I don't know, a mid area, just scrubland, pretty scrubland area. I'd like that to have been a pretty park area, I think. This looks like a ghost. This lake looks like a ghost. I just wanted to throw that one in there. And the keys, we haven't got many keys on here, but they are better than most that we have seen in recent months. So again, credit to Quirky for that one. Now, water flow. Now, we're nowhere near the start square. This isn't start square water flow we're looking at here, but I want to show you this, just to show you how this is not a realistic map water flow, but it's water flow that works. We've got the lake, we've got good water flow coming down, a very pretty river, joining at a right angle here, where the water goes, off to the right, which is great, and off to the left, which is confusing. The water going off to the right exits through the big old dolphin-shaped lake there, and if we go the other way, if we go this way, it goes over some rapids, goes through some more rapids, and then it exits out. Well, it doesn't exit because it's a lake. It dead ends. I don't know where the water's going there, but it goes into there and stops. Okay. If you go down this river here, there's good strong water flow through here, and we've got some pre-laid pipes, which is most of the start square, but not the bit that's over the river. For some reason, they couldn't lay pipes over the river. I don't know why. It's complicated. Got big fields with nothing in them, which is great for building, but breaking the grid. You can just build in these fields. When I say there's nothing in them, there's nothing in most of them, apart from this one, which has a little bouquet. Ah, isn't it pretty? Right in the middle, all on its own. I'm sure it's there for a reason. But yes, it's fine. And speaking of fields and breaking the grid, so what I mean by breaking the grid is, let's say you just build in this field, okay? And then when you filled up that field, you just build in this field. And then when you fill up this field, you just build in this field. This is going to force you away from doing grids. You can't build square if you have got a weird shape to build into. And so, yeah, that will just give you a different shaped city. And I think could make for a far more interesting build than many flattish maps. And in the start square, hurrah! We got the asset of the day. Oh, speaking of Madonna, do you know what? I don't know. I maybe subconsciously. I don't know. But anyway, yes. Sometimes it just happens, doesn't it? Chapel of Madonna di Vitaleta by Zarrix. This is a great little church. This is a great little church. I would say obviously Italian. I say obviously Italian. It's probably Spanish or Maltese. But no, I would say obviously Italian. And factoids. Because factoids. Mummies, as in Egyptian, yeah, are so called because of the wax or mum, which was smeared onto the bandages for waterproofing. So mum's the word, they would say, as they smeared it on. Well, they wouldn't have said that because they were Egyptian. But yes, anyway, so yeah, mummification is from the wax that they put onto the bandage. And so they became mummies. Right, fantastic. Good information there. We've learnt something today. We've also learnt that Madonna, it's definitely the Madonna show, isn't it? Chapel of Madonna. De Vitaleta by Zarrix. Zarrix is a top creator. Top creator. Subscribe to everything. Remember, like up all of their work while you're subscribing. You should always do that as well. Whatever you're subscribing to, I'll tell you time and time again. Like it, and then if it turns out to be broken or rubbish, unlike it. When you unsubscribe. It's the fair thing to do. Also, it's fair to vote on today's map. Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, it's pretty when you get in really close. I feel that it kind of lacks a little the intricacy that I would have liked just to really make things pop in the middle of the map. That said, it might be there because Park Life's missing. So while I was going to give this map a really high 3, I'm going to push it up into low 4. I'm going to give it that 4th star because I'm bad. I'm very, very bad. Detailing. I think even with Park Life, there's a few grumbles. I've skipped over some stuff here as well that I've not mentioned. There's a few minor grumbles on the map. I'm going to go for a high 3. There's plenty of work on it, but just needs a little bit more polish. More experience, Quirky. She's getting there. Gameplay. I think this has got a lot of gameplay built into it. There's nothing wrong with it. Those odd shaped fields are going to make for a very interesting build. I'm going into 4 stars on this one as well. Springtime in the Valley by quirkygeekgirl. She's got some vision and a big vision as well. And I think at some point there's going to be something really clicks And suddenly we're going to be getting next level maps from her. I see it there, and those are going to be pretty maps. There's no other option. Or there is. Should be rubbish. I don't believe that though. Use the word of the day into the comments to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. Thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. And I'll be back tomorrow with the last What map before the holiday. Thanks for watching.